Hey everyone, and welcome to Serve the Animals. My name is Tanja Andersen, and I am your host on this amazing summit. And today we have a speaker with us, and her name is Kanmon Soto. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you so much, Tanja, and thank you for inviting Kids Saving the Rainforest. We're very excited.
You are most welcome. And who is this speaker? She will share a bit about who she is. So I will touch base about why I picked this amazing organization that is called Kids Save the Rainforest. So Kanmon Soto is Partnership Director of Kids Saving the Rainforest. And when I found this amazing organization, Kids Save the Rainforest, on Google, I was like, what? That it was amazing. Name around really bringing the kids into the rainforest, saving the rainforest, because as I see it is really critical to really educate the young kids and bring them into where every life is happening, like life is in the rainforest. We are on this earth to breathe, eat, and everything is the life we are receiving from the rainforest all over the globe. So Panman, tell us a little bit about touch base about who is this organization exactly.
Thank you. Yes, Kids Saving the Rainforest was founded actually by two little girls. They were living in Manuel Antonio. Manuel Antonio in Costa Rica is a very rich in biodiversity, and there's a lot of rainforest around. And they were seeing that the rainforest was slowly being cut away. So they wanted to see what they could do to protect it. So they started painting and selling the painting rocks and selling them to get funds and get trees to be replanted and help the reforestation of the forest. They were doing this, but they wanted to see how else they could grow with the impact they were doing. So with the help of their mother, the former president, Jennifer Rice, they created Kids Saving the Rainforest, and they started with a reforestation project. And later, since people saw that they were protecting the rainforest, they started receiving wildlife that was injured. People would take it to them. So slowly they created and got permits to create a wildlife rescue center. And when they started, so they hired a veterinary, got all the permits, and slowly they saw that some animals couldn't be released because they had permanent injuries. So they created a sanctuary to give sanctuary to the animals that couldn't be released. And that sanctuary, it's important that any animal that's there, it's because they have a permanent injury of why they can't be released. And they use the sanctuary to give them care, and also to teach people the stories of what happened to those animals, and that people could learn about that and what they could do to protect those animals. And slowly they also created a project about education and conservation for the kids around the area and the community, and also internationally. So people learn also what they can do. And they slowly also started to see that there was a lot of animals being hit by cars or being electrocuted because of the same reason, because the forest was being destroyed and there's more contact of humans with wildlife. And that's why they created the Wildlife Bridge Project. So they started putting wildlife bridges so the animals could safely pass and not get electrocuted or hit by cars. So slowly different projects started to be created. And thanks to the kids and to the Jennifer Rice, their mother, and that's how we were founded. And we are now with different projects. So it's an interdisciplinary conservation project.
Oh wow, that's amazing. And where did your passion start for to work with this organization? Like, where did everything start in your personal life to choose to work with the organization?
Well, since I was a little girl, I know I wanted to work with wildlife specifically. So I love all animals, but wildlife was always something that called my name, especially because in school we were taught about animals being and getting extinct. So for me, since I was a little girl, that got me like really interested. Like, what we're losing animals getting extinct. So I wanted to work in conservation since I was small. So I was trying to see like what could lead me there. And I could either study the biology or veterinary, because that's what I saw that was related to that. And I studied veterinary. And that's how I started actually in Kids Saving the Rainforest as the wildlife veterinarian at the Wildlife Rescue Center. And slowly I started growing in the organization. But that is why I think it's so important about educating kids since they're small about conservation, because then you plant that seed that makes them interested on how they can protect their planet, because that's what happened to me. And then slowly we start finding ways how we can get involved and how our personal life we can take action and protect the environment.
Oh, amazing. And to you guys out there, the topic Cameron and I will talk about in this interview is, oh my God, you get to serve me, my friends, Ecotourism program at Kids Saving the Rainforest Wildlife Sanctuary. That is the topic we are getting to talk about now. So where can people learn about ecotourism? Like why that's so critical to choose that as a private person to choose that?
Well, ecotourism is a form of tourism, but the importance of ecotourism is that it's done in a responsible way. So when you go and choose tours that you're going to do, you want to make sure they're ethical tours and they're done in a way that it's not affecting the environment or the community that's in. And when you do the ecotourism, it can be, for example, tours that are specific to the conservation of the environment. And also it can be, for example, to travel to natural areas, but like I said, in a responsible way. So if you're going to a natural area, to a forest, that you're not contaminating it, that you're not affecting the wildlife, that you're not interfering with the ecosystem. And also another way of doing ecotourism, it's where you are improving or helping the well-being of the community. So also with people, because you also don't want to affect the local communities where you're doing that tourism as well. So for example, what we do at Yard, the way that we do ecotourism is that when people visit us, we have two different projects. So we have the Wildlife Rescue Center, and then we have the sanctuary. At the Wildlife Rescue Center, we have animals that are being rehabilitated to be released. So that is close to the public, because we don't want the animals that are going to be released, we want them to have the less contact with humans, so they have a better chance of a successful release. The Wildlife Sanctuary, that's where the animals that cannot be released, we give them sanctuary to. But for that area, we have a guided tour. It's important that it's guided, because then when we take the people around the sanctuary, we want them to teach the people why the animals are there. And they understand they're there not for the humans, they're there for protecting them. And they understand the story of each animal and why they are there and what they can actually do personally at their homes, and what actions they can take so that we can avoid animals having to end up in sanctuaries to be protected. And when we do the tours, they're very responsible tours. So for us, it's important that they know the tours, there's not gonna be any contact with animals. They have to be quiet. We have to respect the space of the animal so they have less stress. And also during the tour, we teach them about not only the story of why they're there, but about the animals, how it's their behavior, how they thrive in their environment, in their habitat, the importance of that species in nature, and their feeding habits, so that they get interested in the species and they get related to the species and that they want to protect it. And then we also learn, for example, not just the stories, but they learn also about our conservation projects, the importance of them, how they can get involved so they can also protect the rainforest, and teach them about solutions they can do at home, from recycling to visiting national areas in their countries, because then they're supporting those natural areas. And also very important how each species, it depends on each other and living things also as humans. So it's important that they see how each living thing depends on another living thing, and how that is essential for the role for biodiversity and the ecosystem, and how we can protect it.
That is amazing. Oh my God, I really love that two sides of point you're working with the wildlife, like really saying, like really put them free where it's
sorry,
close?
There's interference.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. So yeah, I really like this point where it's close to the public, where the center where you're releasing the animals is close to public, because as I see it, a wild animal is a wild animal. It's fast in and out, and it's on the animal's needs. It's not like me that get to be connected with it. It's just fast in and out because they belong in the wild. So I just love that. Also, when I saw your homepage, just like, oh my God, yes, amen. One more out there that have the same standard. I really think and see is so valuable and so needed in this world, and also educate people around it is a wild animals, and wild animals not an animal you get to go close to because it is not natural at all.
We also promote campaigns, so it's important for us to promote like no animal selfies, that animals are not pets. That's very awesome. That wildlife are not pets. That's also very important. No animal selfies, because that happens a lot when people come to Costa Rica and they see a wildlife, so they want to take selfies or they want to grab it to take photos. So that's something that we promote not to do. And also not feeding wildlife, because that happens a lot also, that in the natural parks, they see a capuchin monkey, they see a raccoon and they want to feed it. And so we explain all the different negative consequences that causes wildlife. So what they shouldn't do when they go to a country where, or an area, natural area where there's wildlife. So what not to do. So we do teach that always. And then it's important that people don't know that when any animal arrives at the wildlife rescue center, that's separate. That's where we rescue, rehabilitate, and release. What we want to do is release the animal. So that's always our goal. So any animal that's in the sanctuary, it was because they also do have very permanent injuries that does not allow them. They've been amputated due to electrocutions. They've lost mobility because they were hit by cars, or they get attacked by dogs. That's also like a negative effect caused by humans, because everything that's humans are getting into their natural habitat. So each time we get closer to them, so the effects that they're getting, it's because of us. So that's why we try to teach them also, and that what they can do at home to avoid those problems caused by humans.
Oh, amazing point of view to educate people and the public that's come down to, and also people that's really follow you on the social media. So a person as me and other people that are seeing this interview, how can they apply this ecotourism to their own life around wildlife sanctuaries?
Let's say for people that are regular people visiting and doing tours in different areas, it's respecting the place they're going to. So for example, if they go to a natural area and you're taking, that's one thing they say, don't leave any footprints. So if you're going to the forest, if you're going to the beach, if you're going to natural areas, don't leave any garbage. Always take it with you. Don't interfere with the wildlife where you're going to. Respect them, maintain your distance. You can see it and appreciate it, but don't touch them, don't interact with them. Also, it's important that you visit natural areas in your country, so because all those natural areas usually protect the wildlife it's in. So by visiting it, you're supporting it, but just respect it when you're there. And at home, you can do different things, from recycling to reduce, reuse, recycle. When you can plant trees or plants in your garden so that it attracts wildlife, or that you give them, for example, if you plant trees in your garden, you can give shelter to wildlife, but just don't interact with it. Or important, like being able to control the pets in your area, because sometimes pets like cats and dogs can attack wildlife. So the way that you're able to maintain that distance of your own pets with wildlife, it's important. And also learning about animals that are getting extinct and sharing that with people you know, because that helps. And you can be part of different programs in your community. There's a lot of programs where they go to pick garbage in your area, so you can be part of those types of activities, and you're getting an activity done, you're learning about it, and you're sharing with the community. So there's a lot of things that are small steps that you can do at your home, at your local area, in your own country, but also when you go to another country, then just make sure you're respecting it. And there's so different ways that people, when they do ecotourism and they travel, let's say by airplanes, they can choose planes that are making sure that their carbon footprint it's being less, or that they're trying to reduce it. So there's different ways people can research of how they can do it, and each tour that they choose, make sure it's a responsible tour, that they're doing responsible tourism.
And how can a person be sure about if it a responsible company or organizations or agency? Like, how can people be sure about if it is like a good one to go to? Because there is some bad ones out there. Seems like good one, and behind is so bad.
Well, for the example, for what it's called wildlife sanctuaries, it's important that if you visit the GFAS, the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries, they give you a list of the verified wildlife sanctuaries. So that gives you, let's say, support that you know that they've been verified. There's different global regulations that they have to follow regarding animal welfare, so that you know their animals are being treated fairly and safely and with welfare, and they're respecting the animals. So that's how you know it's a safe place to go. So for wildlife sanctuaries, it's always important to check that organization and see the list of wildlife sanctuaries that they recommend and verify.
Amazing. What does the webpage call again?
It's called GFAS, Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries.
Oh, wow. That is the long URL.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the title of the organization.
Oh, the title. Maybe there's a different kind of URL. Okay. Guys, we will put it down below, so you have the link below this video where you find that one. So how can this like ecotourism program contribute to the local, communities to protect wildlife?
How the local community can get involved, you mean? Or
yeah, how can ecotourism, like for me to choose ecotourism when I'm traveling out or seeing different kind of wildlife sanctuaries and wildlife rescue centers, how can I contribute, like how can I pay it forward to the local community there so they protect the wildlife?
Well, for the local community, how they get involved is that they protect their own, let's say, the wildlife around them. So when a way to do it is that also when people that are work, for example, for KSTR, it's the people that are working for KSTR, they're locals, and they're part of the local community that are interested in protecting the environment around them and protecting their community. And the organization gives that work opportunity to that local. So by going to that or choosing that organization, for example, Kids Saving the Rainforest, then you're also providing work to that local community there. So that's also a way that you're protecting the community, but also by choosing organizations doing ecotourism, they also are locals usually doing creating those projects. So not necessarily in the rainforest, but there's also smaller ecotourisms. Like, for example, they have protected areas, and they are doing tours in the community. Like, it could be either about food, about, for example, creating local products. So sometimes even that ecotourism gets involved, and you're providing, by choosing those organizations, you're supporting those locals in their work, and so that it's how they maintain their daily life. So by choosing those organizations, you're supporting their daily work as well. So you're providing, let's say, sustainability for them.
Amazing. So let's say if I as a tourist coming down to you with my kids, I don't have kids, let's imagine that I have kids. Can I come down to you with my kids and learn about like this program you have with Kids Saving the Rainforest?
Yes, we have different programs for tourists. So it can either be by giving a guided tour of the sanctuary, but we also have volunteer programs, internship programs, and specific study abroad programs. So depending on the different ages, you can do the tour, you can volunteer for a day or even a week or a month. And for young people who want to get involved in conservation, they want to study biology, ecology, veterinary, they can do internships with us or study abroad with us. And there's internships in veterinary, in biology, even in marketing, in zookeeper, and they can also work in the sanctuary. If it's veterinary, they can be an intern in the veterinary, in the rescue center. And for young kids, they can do volunteer with us. We have also summer camps, and they can do the tour where they can learn a lot.
Oh my God, I love the summer camp in the jungle.
Yeah.
Amazing. So around this center you're creating, like, what is 3 action steps as I, as a person, can support you guys with?
Well, if you do a tour with the sanctuary, well, you should know that any income that comes out from all of these tourists goes into our conservation project. So all income that we make from tours, from donations and everything, so everything goes to our conservation project. So if you choose to do a tour with us, you're already supporting us. Or if you choose to volunteer with us with tours, you're supporting us, and it all goes into the conservation projects. And if you volunteer, you're physically helping us do daily work that we do to care for the animals. So you're supporting there with actions, and also just letting people share that we exist, share about our conservation projects to other people so that they learn about us and support us. And that's another way that it helps us, because then we can grow and get people to learn what we do, but also we can teach them what actions they can take, and we can slowly grow more around the world and what we can all do to protect the rainforest.
Amazing. What is your message to me, let's say in Denmark, like people that is living long way for you guys, because there's like taking 2 days to come down to you guys from Denmark? Yes. What is your action step, or what is your action step for me that is living so long from you, beside donate? Like, what can I do in my lifestyle that will support your work in small point of the work you're doing?
I think if each person personally tries to take different actions daily of how they can make their life more sustainable, or how they can choose to protect the environment each day, then that's a way they're supporting also the efforts that we're trying to do. So by choosing less use of plastic, then they're helping there. If they can learn about animals getting extinct, or the problems that the world is facing, and then sharing this with people, then it gets more people interested of what they can do. And like I said, things that they can do locally, and like I said before, going to the natural protected areas of their home country, learning about because it's not just about protecting rainforests in Costa Rica, it's protecting the environment of all ecosystems all around the world. So that if they learn about their own country, of how they can protect the ecosystem, the animals, and what they can do daily to protect the environment in their own home country, and what they can do daily there, then that's also it's also supporting our efforts, because it's a global thing. So it's just what you can do daily, each day, that can make a small impact. Even the small choice you do each step each day, it starts to accumulate, and that also comes to creating a great impact. If every human does that, each individual person takes a single step every day, then all together we start to make a difference.
Powerful, so powerful. What is like, I will invite also to you guys out there, like I will invite you to choose to volunteer, come down to Kids Saving the Rainforest and be a volunteer. Volunteer life is one of the key, as I see it, one of the key that will make a huge difference for conservation and also will bring the balance back in between the humankind and also the natural world with the animals and the animals that is living there, that is giving us life to live on this earth. So I'm curious to know, what is your advice to your little kids when you was 20 years old?
When you're what, sorry?
What is your advice to your 20 years young you, like when you was 20 years old?
I think I mean, it sounds like very repetitive, but I think to keep choosing your dreams of what you want to do, because then if you have an idea of something that makes you excited when you are young, and you want that when you grow up, sometimes you lose it with the daily life or growing up, and then so I think it's always important to keep that spark when you're as a kid, and that magic of what it makes you excited and as a kid that you want to do when you grow up. So try to not lose that spark, and always try to, in any way that you can, follow that dream. So maybe it won't look exactly the same to each person. But if, for example, your dream is to work with wildlife, but you don't have to be a veterinarian or a biologist. You can just even maybe volunteer with wildlife in your home country, or support a project, get involved in different organizations. So it's just, I guess, it's just trying to see how you can always be, from that dream that you have as a kid, how you can always keep that dream with you in some way, and and get it involved in your life in some way. It doesn't mean that you have to be completely doing something that it's like exactly what you had a view as a kid, but it can be another version of it. And I think that's always important to try to follow that.
Oh, beautiful. And where can the audience find you guys around Kids Saving the Rainforest? Where can people find you on the social media to be a part of your work?
Yes, you can find, well, our website is www.kidssavingtherainforest.org. But we have also you can find us in Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and well, yeah, you can find us almost in all the social media platforms. So you can follow, especially in Instagram, we post a lot of the animals that are rescued every day and follow their story until they're released. So you can find that it's nice to follow us on Instagram to see the story of the animals, and also of the residents we have in our sanctuary that we care for.
Oh, amazing. And Cameron, the last word for the audience, what is one thing you would like the audience to go with from the whole interview? Like, what is one thing you would like them to go with to listen to this?
Well, I think it's important that people know what impact they can make in the world, no matter how small the first step is. So to always try to see how their actions can improve the world they live in. So it's as small as it may seem. So I think that's like what they can take into account. So one of them is, for example, if you choose to travel to do tours, either locally in your area or in another country, so that just make sure that what you're choosing to do is a responsible ecotourism, and just by doing that, you're already doing an important impact for the protection of the biodiversity and ecosystem and environment in the world.
Amazing, amazing. So dear audience, Cameron and me say thank you from bottom of our hearts for you to choose to watch this interview, and we both will invite you to go straight now to the webpage and follow the guys, kidssavingtherainforest.org. Go and like and follow all the social media so that you keep updating or keep receiving the update around the work and how you can improve your life, where you can make the small tricks in your lifestyle. And also, please guys, choose a volunteer. Volunteer is the key for you to manifest your vision, to really restore and reconnect with what is your life purpose on this earth. Volunteer life is so critical on so many levels. So we both will invite you to go out there, be an ecotourist, and be volunteer and support this amazing organization, Kids Saving the Rainforest. So Cameron, thank you for bottom of my heart for we made it, girl. And thank you for so much being here and being a powerful voice for kids, a powerful voice for what is a wild animals and why it is so critical to really knowing a wild animals and keep the distance and really take a step back and have them first in the road of the work, first priority in work. So thank you for bottom of my heart for what you're doing, for what you all do, and for you to be here, my friend.
And thank you for giving this time to us to be able to share about our conservation projects. It means a lot and it helps us a lot too. So thank you so much for providing this space.
It is a blessing and you're most welcome. So with that, thank you so much, everyone. Please go on the homepage and get connected with them and be a part of the work. With that, thank you so much for watching and we wish you the most amazing day. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much.